Toyota has just broke its production record for November. Better availability leads to better choices for the customer. Over at Reuters, Toyota's November global vehicle production rises 1.5%. Doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're making hundreds of thousands of vehicles, it does make a big impact. And that total is 833,104 units for November. Despite domestic production in Japan falling 3.3%, output overseas rose 3.8% for an all-time high of 566,930 units for the month. And this has exceeded last year's levels due to solid demand, go figure, particularly in North America, and a recovery in part supplies that had been impacted by the shutdowns. So the recovery is finally happening slowly. Last month, Toyota expected to produce just 700,000 units in January and is only expecting to sell only 9.2 million units through March. They were hoping to sell 9.7 million units through the fiscal year, but they continually have to lower those estimations. Last year, they produced 8.6 million units. So either way you cut it, it's going to be around 9.2 million, possibly better, depending on how January through March looks. Now, if November had a best ever, I don't see why things can't continually get better for production. Now, when you include Hino and Daihatsu, subsidiaries of Toyota, they have produced 982,000 units for the month of November. In January through November alone calendar year, Toyota has sold 8.7 million, but when you include every subsidiary, it's 9.5 million. So they are going to crack 10 million vehicles this year total. But in the background, Hyundai is lurking and growing and overtaking some of the mainstays. So Hyundai quietly beats General Motors, Nissan, and Stellantis for the number 3 automaker in the world. The Koreans continue to surge and impress the world with their quality products. They have some of the best EVs out there. Genesis has some of the best products for the dollar out there as well on the luxury end. And they still provide on their mainstream end, Hyundai and Kia, incredible value and features for the money. And they will continue to be a thorn in the side of Toyota, Honda, Nissan, their Japanese competitors, or their main ones, I should say, but also the domestics here stateside, Ford, General Motors. So very impressive what they're able to do. And who knows, maybe they'll pass Volkswagen or Toyota one day. I can't wait to see where Hyundai goes from here. But also news for them, Hyundai Motor achieves 15 million vehicle sales. Obviously, that is for the United States. The 15th million vehicle sale was a Tucson sold at Western Hyundai in Williamsville, New York. So let's see which vehicles are making up the most of these units. The Elantra, nearly a quarter of their total sales in the United States, with 3.5 plus million. Sonata, which the Sonata might actually be getting canceled, but over 20% of its total sales, over 3 million. And well, you can see the decline of both of these vehicles happening many, many years ago, 2015 and 2011 for these sedans. Santa Fe, now we're talking about their crossovers. Best-selling year 2019, very relevant here. 12.7% of their total sales, nearly 2 million units sold. The Tucson, though, is going to continue to eat up percentage of sales, as 1.3 million will continue to grow and grow and grow at a faster pace than the rest of these models up here. And of course, you have the budget-minded Accent. Rest in peace. Isn't that crazy? Hyundai's just killed this model for 2023, even though it helped the brand springboard into this massive world player. And let's talk about Genesis. They have finally opened its second standalone dealership, with more coming in 2023. Continually said about Genesis is if they had more standalone dealerships to compete on equal footing against their competition, they would be doing even better than they are. When you're buying a $80,000 Genesis, you don't want to be rubbing elbows with the guy who's buying a 3-year-old Accent, right, in the cubicle next to you. So check this Genesis sales out. They continue to explode. 2022 will be a little bit higher than this. I don't think that much, because in 2021 is when they rolled out their crossovers. They plan to be fully electric by 2025, or should I say every product that they roll out by 2025 and later will be electrified, while their gas models will probably still live on in their lineup. So with more standalone dealerships coming online, that's only going to help Genesis sell even more units than being held back by their Hyundai dealerships. Now, Honda also posted production and sales and exports for November. Production is up year over year in Japan, but outside of Japan, it's still looking pretty dismal. And sadly, things have turned for the worse. While we saw Toyota making a big recovery, things are looking worse for Honda outside of Japan because they produced only 253,000 units versus last November, which is only 83% of what it was last November. And if you look year over year total, they're only about 6% down, 7% up domestically, 6% down outside of Japan. North America getting hit the worst for Honda. Their production only is down about 8% versus last year on the year, but it's looking worse because November was down over 12%. USA production remains fairly high out of that low percentage in North America because they make those CRVs and Accords, a lot of them in Canada, and they make the HRV down in Mexico. So those new products north and south of the border are not being made to production at the levels they are in Japan or the United States. So kind of sad to see, but I'm going to end it there. What are you surprised most about? Toyota making the big comeback? Are you surprised that Hyundai is now number 3 behind Volkswagen and Toyota? That is just mind blowing, and it's fun to see them continually rise to greatness. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year, happy holidays, and peace.